I have recently switched real estate brokerages, which is super crazy because I always said I will never, ever, ever switch brokerages. I've been with the same brokerage for the past almost 8 years now, since I got my real estate license back when I was 18. And so today we are going to chat about all of the things that I wish I would have known before switching. So before I switched brokerages, there were so many things that I just had no clue how they were going to work out or what it would look like after I switched, if that makes sense, because I just never done it before. And I also had some misconceptions about what it would look like or how things might go down when switching brokerages. That is what we're going to talk about today. I have my tea. It's still a little bit hot. Grab your beverage of choice and let's get into the video today. So the first thing that I just was not sure, had no clue how it was going to turn out or look like when switching brokerages was how long would the process take? This is something that I think I had some wrong or false misconceptions about, because I had spoken with other real estate agents before who told me that when they switched brokerages, it kind of put a dent in their business for a couple of months, or it took weeks, or it was just this like long drawn out process. And I'm not even entirely sure what they mean by that, like what all of the things were, like how it took them so long. Because I know when you switch brokerages, there is a really, really long list of things that you need to do, as far as like accounts you need to switch over, things you need to switch over for marketing. Like there are a lot, like there is a long checklist of things. But for me, it actually didn't take a long time. So that was something that I was quite wrong about. So I switched from a big franchise style brokerage to a cloud-based brokerage, Real Broker. And when I switched over, it took me a day. It was a very long day. I'm the kind of person that if I'm doing something, I don't like, if I'm switching brokerages or moving or doing anything like that, I don't want to sit down and like work on it little bits at a time, like work on switching things over slowly throughout the week. I want to just like sit down and focus and hash it all out until I'm completely done. And that's what I did. So my husband and I were a real estate team together. So we took one very long day and we switched everything. We had a long checklist of things we needed to do, things we needed to switch over for our business, and we did it from start to finish, and we're completely signed up with our company in a solid day. Now, like I said, it was a very long day. We started the day by taking our daughter we have a 3.5-year-old, so we took her to a indoor like trampoline park so that we could just both sit with our laptops and focus and use their Wi-Fi, and she could play and like not interrupt us during this time. So we took advantage of that, and then we ended up staying up super late until like 1 in the morning working on it. So it was a very long day of working on it, but we were able to get it done, and it definitely didn't cause us to have to put our business on hold for any length of time, like I've heard other people say before. The next thing that I was confused about when switching brokerage was what is going to happen to my current listings or my current like escrows, my current closings when I switch brokerages. This is something that we went back and forth on for a while, but we ended up actually just leaving any of our escrows or listings at our brokerage, like our previous brokerage, the one that we left. And the reason we did it was because I think this is something that differs from brokerage to brokerage. So wherever you're leaving from, they might do things differently where you're at, but from where we were at, we had the choice to either leave our current escrows and listings at our brokerage that we were leaving, and if that was the case, the principal broker there would then handle everything. We would still get paid, and we would get paid on the commission split from that brokerage that we were leaving. Or we could choose to take our listings and close escrows over to our brokerage, Real Broker, that we're at now. We could have chosen to transfer them, but if we would have done that, we would have had to pay our brokerage a 20% referral fee because of the marketing and money that they had already put into our listings, apparently. Because of that, we chose to just leave our listings and escrows where they were currently at. I feel like we've been at our new brokerage for a while, but it really hasn't been that much time because we still have deals that we're waiting to close that are with our old brokerage. So I guess it really hasn't been that long. The reason that it would have been a good idea, or why it could have been a good idea to move our listings and escrows over to our new brokerage, Real Broker, is because it would have helped us reach our cap sooner. But at the end of the day, we thought about it, we discussed it, and we kind of just realized like, it's really not that big of a deal because our cap at this new brokerage is so low that it really isn't something that we need to like strive super hard to reach, if that makes sense. Our commission split here is 85-15. Once we reach that $12,000 cap, which is way better than any cap, it's like way smaller than any cap I've ever seen at any brokerage. Once we reach that $12,000 cap, we keep 100% of the commission and there is no more split. We aren't super concerned about this because even with that 85-15 split, it's still so much more desirable than our previous brokerage or really any other brokerage's split that I have seen. I know when I first started in real estate at the previous brokerage that I was at, my split was 60-40 when I first started. And then of course it got better as we became top producers and started selling more. We were able to get a more attractive split, but never 100%. I'm pretty sure our split was 85-15 once we reached our cap. So that was like the best it was ever gonna get. And now that's what we're starting at our new brokerage. So that's super awesome to me. Just a little side note. That's really, I guess, all of this to say, the whole reason I'm saying all that is because that's really the biggest reason why we just decided to leave our listings and closings at our current brokerage, because it really wasn't that big of a deal to us to try to race to reach this new commission split. Okay, so another thing I wish I would have known before switching brokerages was that when you tell your brokerage, I guess this is pretty standard, I had no idea, when you tell them you're thinking about switching brokerages and you know where you're going to go, even if you have not called the MLS and told them that you are moving your license over, you haven't called the National Association of Realtors, like you haven't done anything like that to switch over your license, they will turn your email off like within a couple hours of you calling and telling them that you're thinking about switching. That was something that was super hard to navigate because our email for our brokerage we were with previously, it was owned by them, if that makes sense. Like they owned our email address and we had used that email. That was pretty much our only email. We used it for every password, every like account we had ever on anything. Positive side of this is it really forced us because there was like a day between it got shut down and we were like, oh crap, well, we better switch over now. And then that happened. And then like the next day is the day that we officially signed up for that, you know, the new brokerage. And so it really forced us to just be like super on it and move super quickly, because without our email, we were kind of out of business for a day. So it thankfully didn't last long. We were on it. And what we ended up doing was just purchasing professional business emails from GoDaddy.com, which I would actually recommend doing that anyway. Even if your brokerage gives you an email address, definitely a good idea. One of the reasons why is because for me, I've made YouTube videos for pretty much my entire career, and it's always been a part of my business. I get business from it. It's where my clients find me. I get agent-to-agent referrals from this channel. And a big thing is I've always put my email address in the video, like not just the description, but I put it like in the video, usually somewhere like right here. I'll try to put my email right here. By the way, if you have any real estate related questions, feel free to shoot me an email. If you have any clients relocating to Oregon, shoot me an email. I'd love to give you a referral fee. But once it's in this spot, obviously if it's in the description, which we'll talk about later, of the video, then you can just go back and change that, even though it takes a lot of time and it can be a lot of work. But if it's in the video right here, you can't go back and change that. And so you're stuck with that email forever. So if I would go back in time, or if I could go back in time, I guess one of the things I would do would be to purchase a GoDaddy email. It's so inexpensive. I don't know what it is. Maybe $1 a month, $5 a month. I don't know. But I would just purchase a professional business email when I first got into the business, no matter what brokerage I was with, just because if you're doing your marketing, you're probably thinking long term, especially if you're using YouTube. People can watch your videos 10 years down the road and call you from them for real estate. So I think that that's just something that I would have changed. Speaking of your email, another thing that I had to do was go through and edit the description of hundreds of YouTube videos on multiple different channels that we get clients from. I had to go through and edit the description and change the email address that's in the description. Because I always say, like, if you're thinking about buying or selling in my area, my email's in the description below. So I had to go through and edit the description and change my email. And that's something I did like that day. It was a Friday that we switched everything over officially, the long day that we just like sat down and did it all at once. That was one of the last things I did. I ended up staying up until like 1 in the morning working on that because I wanted to get every single description changed to have my new email. If a relocation buyer, for example, came to my YouTube videos, they would be emailing a email address that would just bounce back and I would never see it. And so I stayed up till like 1 in the morning doing that. And then the next morning at like 6 or 7 in the morning, I had a buyer come in, relocation buyer, come in, hot lead, ready to buy from one of my YouTube channels because I changed the description. They emailed me to my new email. And if I would have waited even until the next morning to go through and finish all of those, like changing my emails and all those descriptions, I would have missed that buyer and I would never know that they even emailed me, and they'd probably be wondering why I'm not emailing them back. Another thing I was a little bit concerned about, or not really concerned, just more like, how is this gonna work, was ordering signs and anything like that, like deliverables, printouts, things you wanna give to your clients, yard signs, open house signs. We don't really do open houses. It's just not part of our business model, but anything of that sort. And my sign's literally right there, so I'll show it to you guys. This was actually so easy. I thought this would be really complicated and hard, but our company, Real Broker, made it so simple. They have one website where you can order like literally everything you need real estate wise just from this website. We created it on the website, designed it on the website. They basically already had it created for you, but you could switch it up, you know, how you wanted it. And then it came, you know, in the mail in like the next week directly to our house. Okay, let's see. There we go. There we go. We have a QR code here, which I know people have been using those for years, but this was new to me for my business because we've never done that before. So we have a QR code that will take them to our website. And yeah, my last concern or misconception before switching brokerages was I've never considered myself a super tech savvy person. And so how am I going to deal being with a cloud-based brokerage, not having anyone in person to help me with technological things? And I just have to say that has not been a problem at all. All of the technology has been literally so user-friendly, so simple, even for someone like me who is not tech savvy, I would say. It has been awesome and just hasn't been a concern. So overall, nothing really has changed in the day-to-day. Like, the way we run our business is still pretty much the same. Like I said, we still have closings that were waiting to happen at our old brokerage. So I guess we haven't experienced a ton at our new brokerage as well, but on the day-to-day, like nothing really has changed at all. We still work from home just like we did before. We still run our business the same way, our schedule's the same way. Really the only thing that's changed is now we have access to pretty awesome resources that we didn't have before, and just more like technology to help our clients and to help us with our business as well. Have you ever switched brokerages? What was it like for you? How many times have you switched? I'd love to hear about that in the comments below. I love chatting with you guys in the comment section. Thank you for watching. We have been coming on here every single week with new videos, so be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. Share this video with a friend who is thinking about switching brokerages. Maybe it can help them out, and I'll see you guys next week.